First thing that comes to your mind: Pepsi or Coca-Cola? Apple or Windows? Bing or Yahoo? Wait, just a minute. Let me correct that. Bing or DuckDuckGo? Sounds about right, innit? Have you ever wondered why certain brands appeal to you more than others? Perhaps you're more of an Apple guy instead of Windows. Sometimes the reason is pretty clear, like if you're in the creative industry, then likely Apple provides you better tools to go about your work. But other times, you just can't quite put your finger on it, but there's just something about that brand that appeals to you. Is this what brand personality is? But isn't personality a human thing? Can a brand have more than one personality trait? By the end of the video, you would be able to answer all these questions. But for now, Ducky, you have caught my attention. What is their product, and what kind of brand personality should they have? DuckDuckGo is a search engine, much like Google, except they emphasize on protecting search's security. We will come back to Ducky once we have understood brand personality. So, can brands have personality? Well, yes they can. If not, we wouldn't be having this video, would we? Brand personality is a set of human characteristics associated with a brand. They stably represent that brand and allow users to have an expectation from it. This can be an expectation of the kind of products the brand would release and how they go about it, to how they utilize their social media and formulate their marketing campaigns. Essentially, while general product attributes serve a utilitarian function, brand personality serves a symbolic or self-expressive function. Okay, so brands have personality. So what? Why does this matter? Well, if you ever intend to launch your own product or service, you want to portray a coherent image of your brand so as to capture the right audience and convert them into loyal returning customers. If your audience knows what to expect from your brand, that is, your brand's personality, then they will seek your products to satisfy the need your brand promises to fulfill. Alternatively, when you want to purchase something, it can be wise to know the brand personality of the product to understand if it matches what you are looking for. This can range from products as simple as oranges to your next smartphone. Of course, you don't need to understand the brand personality of every single purchase you will make. That would be tiring. It is up to us on how much importance we want to give for any given transaction. So what are the different types of brand personalities? There are 5 dimensions of brand personality that have been proposed by Jennifer Archer. They are sincerity, excitement, competence, sophistication, and ruggedness. Sincerity signifies a brand that is grounded, open in their communication, upbeat, and one you can trust. Sincere brands show a strong commitment to their community and customers while upholding high ethical standards. These brands may also have excellent support for their employees, such as a good pay and other non-monetary benefits. A common example of a sincere brand is Patagonia, made by people who love the outdoor and nature, exactly for people who love the outdoor and nature. Apart from selling high-quality clothes and accessories, they engage in environmental activism and created the sustainable clothing model, Wornwear, knowing that this is something that nature lovers would find important. People can sell their used Patagonia clothes back to the company to be repaired, recycled, and sold online on the Wornwear website, extending the life of the clothing while decreasing the environmental impact. All of this is done intentionally to come off as a sincere brand, and they have done an excellent job at it. The second dimension is excitement. Excitement implies a brand is daring, adventurous, full of life, creative, and updated. These brands may be pushing the boundaries within their industry, coming up with eye-catching designs for their products and creating progressive and energetic marketing campaigns. An example of an exciting brand is Apple. Every year they release a new version of the iPhone and laptops, which creates a huge buzz and continues to push the boundaries of what can be achieved when style meets substance. They often also set the standard for what their competitors try to reach or surpass. It can be argued that they were an even more exciting brand during the second Steve Jobs era than now, as they redefined the possibilities of a smartphone. Nevertheless, they personify what it means to be an exciting brand and continue to push the boundaries of technology, and even our social and cultural world. The third dimension is competence. Competent brands are those that are highly reliable and serve their intended function as efficiently as possible. Their customers often have deep trust in the ability of the product or brand to perform as intended without any expected issues. This may sometimes take time to be established, but can result in unwavering customer loyalty. A brand that may come to the mind of many is Toyota. Not really known to push out anything too exciting or edgy, the Toyota brand, however, has carved an image of producing cars that simply work. Even if issues arrive, spare parts tend to be cheap and readily available. It is no wonder that the brand has also been voted as most reliable car brand several times. Toyotas also tend to be well-engineered cars that give good mileage, thus running efficiently. I myself have bought 2 second-hand Toyotas and have never had a problem with any of them. They have turned me into a loyal customer, which, make no mistake, is exactly what they intended. The fourth dimension is sophistication. Sophisticated brands are those that are intended to be for the elite of society and try to charm their target audience. These brands are often found in the luxury industry and demand a high price. They can also be highly specialized products such as medical equipment or research instruments. It is not uncommon for sophisticated brands to be feminine, as this is often a trait that is portrayed as a cultural ideal for females to strive towards. An example of a sophisticated brand would be Louis Vuitton. Louis Vuitton is undoubtedly a high-end fashion brand that produces expensive bags, shoes, and watches among other things. Their products usually cost several times more than what an average Joe like you and me would be able to afford or even find reasonable. You also would not find their products in your local shopping mall or small towns, but rather in selective high-end stores and popular shopping districts within big cities. This is how a highly sophisticated brand would aim to be portrayed. Exclusivity is key. Finally, we have ruggedness as the last brand dimension. Rugged brands are those that are portrayed as tough, meant for the outdoor, and able to withstand any challenges thrown its way. Getting into the thick of the action and getting their hands dirty is what these types of brands hope to convey with their target audience. Quite the opposite of the dimension of sophisticated, ruggedness tends to be geared towards the male audience. An example of a rugged brand would be Land Rover. They produce vehicles that are meant for outdoor and off-road driving. The vehicles have 4-wheel drive rather than the 2-wheel drive that most regular cars have, indicating that no path is too difficult for this beast of a vehicle. One look at the vehicle and you know exactly what it is meant for. So now that we know the 5 brand personality dimensions, how do we make sense of them? The first thing to understand is that a brand does not only have one dimension, they have all of them. Just like how a person can be both extroverted and neurotic, which are 2 different personality dimensions, similarly a brand can have multiple dimensions. The second thing to understand is that for any given dimension, think of it as existing on a continuum. A brand can be high or low on any particular dimension. So for instance, you could think of Twitter as generally high on competence up to a couple of weeks ago, and lately, it has been somewhat lower now that things all over the place and it is in the process of change. But, perhaps, the excitement may have risen now that Elon Musk is the CEO. Let me now demonstrate the 2 concepts with Apple. While we focused on Apple as being an exciting brand, they are also highly competent and sophisticated. Their devices always work as intended and also come with a hefty price tag when compared to their competitors. They do not focus on the traits of ruggedness or sincerity, as these are not very relevant to the image they are trying to build. This does not mean that these dimensions do not exist for them. The magic of Apple is that they know exactly what their brand personality is and use their advertisements and products to keep building on this, creating a coherent image while grabbing a large share of the market. So remember, DuckDuckGo. Which kind of personality should they have, and what should they emphasize on? This is a possible personality profile that they can have. Their marketing department should focus on building an image around sincerity, since their main selling point is user security, and this is what the potential target audience are looking for. With a few clever advertisements showing their security advantages, they can certainly expect to keep gaining the market share. And this is what a brand personality is all about. Thank you for listening. If you learned something new, then please subscribe for more content like this. See you in the next one.